Hey fellow Aquarians, how you doing? Welcome. We're going to be doing your second half of September general reading here. I'm going to start off with some animal energy, but of course, and then go right into the cards. I will say, I just had a very interesting meditation. It kind of defies words in a lot of ways, but I'll give you the highlights. I was seeing scenes from The Shape of Water. I believe Guillermo del Toro, I believe, won an Oscar maybe a couple years ago, which, you know, it felt like the point was coming together with someone else that is very different from you, whether that's in a different geographical location or coming from a different culture, background, system of beliefs, or just someone that's very different from you, but coming together in this really beautiful, unique way was essentially the point. What I was seeing. Gorgeous. So let's see what comes out here. My fellow Aquas. Second half of September. Oh boy. Okay. We got the butterfly. Yeah, we got the butterfly. It doesn't really get any better than this. I mean, the buffalo is fantastic, but this is us. This is air energy, right? This is that true lightness of being. This is just feeling like nothing is holding us back or weighing us down. There is no luggage. We left the baggage at the door. We got through the security checkpoint or flying high in the sky. This is just really just beautiful, beautiful. I'm obsessed. It's so delicious that this came up for us. This is beautiful. You know what else this is about? You know, this is very much about too linking up with other souls that you have a soul connection with. Right? In a sense, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, this is the butterfly, but I'm going to take it to like a moth place for a second. The North American Cecropian moth, when it comes out of that cocoon, it only lives for 2 weeks and it doesn't have a mouth. It can't eat. The purpose of that 2-week lifespan is not to eat or chill. It is to mate and to procreate. Right? That is the point of that. And I'm getting that feeling here where it's like flowers and landing on a flower and feeling sustained from its, nectar or whatever that is. There's just this very sweet, delicious, savory energy around this. And I really, really like it. And again, I'm saying that because of that scene I saw in the meditation from The Shape of Water, where it's like the mer dude or whatever, I don't know, and the, female protagonist are like kissing in the water. And I think they used that image for the poster, and it was just like, and that's what I saw. So I'm like, okay, I see you. But this is, whenever this comes up for me personally, for the butterfly, because I'll do weekly spreads for myself and do an animal for every day. When the butterfly comes up, I know it's going to be an easy, breezy, like feeling wonderful sort of day and experience. A butterfly never lets me down. So I'm really excited that came up for us for the second half of September. I hope that you guys got through I was just going to say the full moon in Pisces. We have the moon card here. In Pisces here. It was very emotional. We will be sitting in that energy, reaping the benefits from that intuitive energy for the next couple of weeks until the new moon rises. We got the star. Yeah, the star and the moon, right? So it's a beautiful well of intuitive insight to tap into, especially for those aquas that, even if you don't, but especially those of you who are clairvoyant and have clear seeing, you're going to be able to glimpse pieces of your future coming up here in a way that may have been masked from you before for timing purposes. So let's see what's going on for my aquas for second half of September. Butterfly also about that aerial perspective, that up above view. It's just a gorgeous thing. So I love it. We got 4 of Swords, just as I was talking about meditation and reaping the benefits from this Piscean full moon, all of these intuitive hits that we're able to see and tap into that, clairvoyant sense of getting a coming attraction, a preview of what's coming down the road for us, which of course as Aquarians, we love to know what's coming beforehand. The Four of Swords here, repping our air sign selves here, this is very much for me, deep rest, deep meditation, right? The High Priestess is very much about, meditation and tapping into one's intuition, but this is very much the act of doing that, of really shutting out the world, turning the phone on, do not disturb, whatever have you, and really powering down. And I think this is such a beautiful energy here for us, right? It's that true powering down so that we can really recharge that battery and come out swinging again, right? And the world will wait. You know what I mean? The world will wait. I'm getting drawn. Yeah, it's the fact that he has his back against this mighty tree here. And grounding. Yeah, I do feel like there's a message here in terms of the importance, because it's funny, because we have the butterfly, which is like the opposite of feeling grounded, but I feel like there's an opportunity and an emphasis on grounding oneself here so that you can charge up and come out of the other end of it and, fly up and be above a lot of these, physical aspects of your given circumstances. It's funny, because these are kind of two opposite things, but I feel like we're being called to Four of Swords it to get to the butterfly in a way, right? Think about it too, and this is really cool how this is coming forward. When we go into meditation, we are the butterfly. We're able to see things, right? From that energy, from that powering down that we aren't able to just from walking around and everyday life, so on and so forth. Okay, let's see what else is going on from Aquarius. Butterfly, I love it. Ooh, oh, weird. Okay, oh God. Okay, so we have the Eight of Cups here, which I'm really loving that the pig is portrayed here in the cup up top. I'm loving it because, listen. The Eight of Cups is really discerning what is no longer emotionally serving you, right? This could be people, this could be relationships, this could be patterns of your own. This could be, anything in and of your emotional realm of your everyday life that just ain't working for you anymore, or that you don't necessarily want to take into, your future path moving forward, right? You know what I'm getting here? This is really funny. Marie Kondo, God, I hope that's her name. Forgive me if that's not her name. I feel like her name is Marie Kondo, and she's like this cleaning expert, amazing lady. And she goes around like helping people basically organize and tidy their homes. And a big part of her method is, with these objects, with discerning what to keep and what to give away or donate or throw away or whatever have you, she always asks the question, do you want to take this forward into your future, into this next chapter of your life? Does it belong there, or does it belong in the past? Does it spark joy, she says. That's how you determine what stays and what goes. Does it spark joy? And I feel like that's the question with this Eight of Cups. Does it spark joy? Does this person spark joy? Does this job spark joy? Right? Am I sparking joy with and for myself? Right? Because I'm getting this feeling too with this pig here, and I'm loving this so much because sunflowers for me represent August into September. We are coming up on the autumnal equinox here in about a week's time. And it's funny because I feel like this week going into the equinox, I feel like it's a very important time for you guys to really figure out what you do want to bring forward with you and what is no longer serving you. This pig here too, I'm laughing because I've been seeing pigs in meditation for maybe since like June. And I'm like, I don't understand. What are these pigs about? And then finally it came through when I went to Lilydale. There were flying pigs everywhere, not literally, but like figurines. And it was like, you know, when pigs fly. I feel like as you release things that you don't want to, or that are no longer serving you, or that you don't want to bring forward into your next chapter, new is going to enter. And I feel like the new that's entering, you have said to yourself, oh, that'll happen when pigs fly. Flying. Like the butterfly. That's the thing. I feel like you're about to manifest something on the level of, oh yeah, that'll happen when pigs fly. Okay? Another way of saying that is like, you know, when hell freezes over or whatever that is. But I like when pigs fly. I like that. It's a little more positive. Okay. Let's keep going. What else is going on from Aquas? You know, maybe this Four of Swords too is you know, the fact that it's leading into this Eight of Cups. Got 10 of Pentacles on the bottom. Hey, y'all. The fact that this Four of Swords is leading into this Eight of Cups, there's no better way to really make these decisions, because for me personally, I feel like I'll never regret a decision that I made if I made it from an intuitive sphere. And so I kind of love that there's this idea of this powering down, getting quiet, going within, shutting out the outside world, and just being with your own energy and thoughts in order to discern what gets to go with you into this last, you know, like part of this year, and what doesn't, right? I'm telling you, the new that's going to enter is going to be on the level of flying pigs. You also got Temperance here, which I'm obsessed with, Sagittarius energy. See, okay, I absolutely love this. So when you have demonstrated fully to the universe that you are beautifully balancing everything that you currently have, and in doing so are grateful and happy with your current lot, that, my darlings, is when you manifest new, because this is also an energy of reconciliation or meeting up with soul family that you've known from past lives, past goes around the earth. And I want to point this out too. We do have a caterpillar here, and the animal we got was the butterfly, right? Cycle, caterpillar, cocoon, butterfly, right? It's interesting how this is kind of showing up here, but I do really feel like it's like, look, you power down to get that assessment going, right? Get really clear on things. This is very much for me, speaking of the full moon in Pisces reverb energy here, right? Getting a glimpse of like what's going to serve you moving forward and what isn't. Making that discernment, walking away, not holding on to anything of the past or of stagnant energy, and moving into a place of beautiful balance where you are allowing the new to enter. I love how this is storyboarding. Let's get some clarifiers here. I like it so much. Okay, some clarifiers. I keep hearing, chill, like chill out. There is this feeling I almost want to say playing it cool. You know, they're showing me the image of getting recognition around something, or getting something that you've really wanted or could even dream of. And then the camera like pans to your face. It's like, they're showing me the image of like someone receiving an award. Like, let's say it's an Academy Award, like Shape of Water. And the camera like pans to the winner, and they know they're being watched, and so they carefully compose their face so that they're not like, oh my God, I want, like they don't want to do that. And this very much, and this is such like an air sign and very much an Aquarian thing to do too, because see how she's like, oh my God, look at all this goodness I have. I'm about to like go to a really happy place on these shrooms, and I'm carefully composing myself around this bounty that I have. Like, that's what it feels like. That's what it very much feels like. All right, let's get some clarifiers. Four of Swords. Well, that took 2 seconds. I think this came up. I did a general reading for the full moon in Pisces spread on Instagram. I feel like this dude came up there. Anyway, King of Wands. And this is exactly what I was talking about. So King of Wands is a beautiful blend of knowing when to be active and when to be inactive. The King of Wands doesn't have that problem of going home at the end of the workday and not knowing when to get off the work phone. Like, to him, the pursuit of pleasure and relaxation is equally valued in terms of like he values that just as much as he values a hard day's work, right? So rest is valued just as much as work is. That's why I love the King of Wands so much, personally, right? He's like, both are equally as important. Thank you very much. And I love that this is coming up to clarify the Four of Wands, because I also feel like, powering down and really getting quiet with oneself and really taking this rest, whatever this looks like for you, is going to result in you coming out in this, oh my God, again, balance. And back to the Temperance here. It's going to put you in this beautiful place where you're going to come out of it. Sometimes we have the tendency as humans, but especially as Aquarians, I feel like, so we're air signs, we'll spend a lot of time on certain things that would probably benefit us to spend a little less time on, because we can get fixated on detail and really finishing something to a certain point. Like, we can be perfectionists in a lot of ways, right? And then we spend not as much time on the things that maybe require a little more detail, but we spend less time on them because they hold our interest a little bit less. It's so true though. But I feel like this Four of Swords is saying, like, we're going to come out of this and be in this beautiful place where it's really equal give and take within ourselves, and spending adequate time on what needs time, not on what doesn't, right? I feel like there's an upgrade in discernment coming, and it's very, very cool. And I love the lightning here as well, and the dude's wearing red. See this? See, and I was talking about charging up the battery. I feel like that's exactly what this is. Please don't deny yourself a good Four of Swords. And I want to be clear on one thing too. This Four of Swords, this doesn't have to be an epically long situation where you're a vampire and you go into the coffin and you sleep through a few decades and then come out. Like, no, I'm not saying it has to be like that. This is going to be different for everybody. But you will know when your, charge is complete. And I feel like Spirit is saying, like, really give yourself that, okay? It's been a year. Let's go ahead and clarify the Eight of Cups, yeah? Just got shivers. Okay. High Priestess. Duh. Okay. So High Priestess, to clarify the Eight of Cups, again, back to this intuition and meditation, deal. Again, I want to point out she is the number 2, and I do feel like you are coming into a partnership of some. I think I just said partnership. A partnership of some sort. Again, we know that the High Priestess is all about being, receptive to intuitive guidance, really, really going inside and within. Which is really, really beautiful here, because it's like, how do you choose what goes forward? Like Marie Kondo, what belongs in your future and what needs to stay in your past? Absolutely use your intuition to discern not just what those things are, but who as well. Because I do feel like for some of y'all, it's going to be people and things, and for others of you, it's going to be things more than people. It's going to be different. Could even be a home. You're like, I think I've outgrown this home, or I'm no longer aligning with this home, or I want to spend more time in, over here, whatever that is for you. But I do feel like in this last quarter of the, thank you very much. In this last quarter of the year, going into this autumnal equinox, if you follow the wheel of the year, your New Year is coming up in October with Samhain or Halloween, right? And I think that there's something to that, where it's like this last quarter of the year just feels very, feels like there's a lot of new coming in, and you don't necessarily want the old that doesn't necessarily need to be there, because you want to make room for whatever this is. Remember when I said that also, in these 2 weeks before the new moon rises, that you're going to be able to get some beautiful preview or psychic insights into what's coming ahead for you? This is also saying this too with the High Priestess and the Eight of Cups. Remember when I said when you release things, that's when the new comes in, and the new things are going to be on the level of like when pigs fly, right? like it. Okay, let's get a clarifier for this temperance right here. This is temperance about from the Aquas. Oh my God. Okay, I'm obsessed. Boom. So we got the Nine of Swords in reversed. In reverse. You know what's really cool about this? So, well, first of all, let me not get ahead of myself. The Nine of Swords in the upright is nightmares. It's, you know, analysis paralysis to the level that it keeps you up at night, right? The fact that it's, do you see this? Do you see how she's like super zen and chill? She's just like, Om Mane Padme Om, you know what I mean? And then we've got the Nine of Swords in reverse. I gotta tell you, I got to tell ya. I do feel like nightmares have been happening for some of you. I feel like that time is shifting and it's about to be a lot more dreamy and vibey. But what's really cool about this is she is super chill and balanced and appreciating and working well with what she has, right? Right. She's allowing these things that no longer serve her to be released to the four winds, darling. And then new comes in. And what's really cool about this Nine of Swords in reverse is I feel like this is saying, like, look at this. Look at this big eyeball, right? This is a terrible time. Doesn't it look like a terrible time? And then she's super mad chillin'. This is what we're going towards. This is what we're going towards. It's very, I'm getting very Buddha vibes, where it's just like, I'm good with what is. I ain't got nowhere to be. I'm happy with what is. I'm just content with where I am. And it's the complete opposite of the analysis paralysis, of the mental tension, of the feeling the need to, you know, change things because, you know, we feel this sense of like, oh, am I where I'm supposed to be? How can I get verified? How can I verify that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be right now? And I'm not trying to make light of that. Like, that's a like, for real, right? That's a real thing, and I very much relate to that. But I feel like in terms of releasing these energy, you know, I'm feeling the need to talk about this. You are who you hang out with. You are who you spend your time with. I feel like you are very much being called to kind of take a look at that. I feel like this has come up before, but I feel like it's a little less dramatic this time because the writing has been on the wall for some time. You are who you hang out with, and also just the material things that you have is, again, back to this Marie Kondo. I feel like the material, oh, weird. Remember at the beginning when the butterfly came up and I said no baggage, no backpack? Yeah. It definitely feels like we're being called to release some of these things that are weighing us down. That can be people, places, or things. And at the end of the day, we're getting this beautiful place of balance, temperance, happy reunion with ourselves and with soul family. I feel that, okay? I feel that. And I do feel like there's this feeling of like playing it cool in the face of this as well, which is really, really cool. But, you know, on the other side of this, you know, sometimes we can get something huge that we wished for, that we even in the place of like, my God, I never really thought that this would really happen for me, right? And it can elicit those feelings of like, oh my God, I'm not worthy, or oh my God, can I trust this? And I'm just so obsessed that this came up with Nine of Swords in reverse because it's like, yes, there's no doubt. I know that I'm worthy of this. I know that I attracted this for a good reason because I am content and I am here and I am focused on what is already working. I've realized and mastered that the more I'm grateful for what I have, the more I manifest to be grateful for. It feels like there's an ascension here. It just does, and it feels really, really gorgeous. And I feel like this is the best card we could have gotten as Aquarius because it's like the opposite of us on our worst day. Right? Y'all know we can be very Nine of Swords in the upright, okay? We can think ourselves out of, you know, a real good thing from time to time, and really that mental tension is real, right? The fact that it came up in reverse with Temperance, which is all about balance, right? And happy reunion. But I also feel like this is, you know, for those of you, I feel like for some of you, you are going to be coming into contact with someone or someone's of your soul family who you are going to be linking up with in a partnership context, okay? I feel that more than I, see it in the cards, but I feel that for some of you. I feel like for others of you, this is about a oneness and wholeness with oneself, right? Where it's like, wow, 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 wow. It's that real feeling of true completion, true ease, true wholeness, true oneness. This is what it is, oneness, right? Listen, I'm gonna, keep it real. Things are about to change in a really beautiful way, but I also get this really distinct feeling that it's strawberry fields forever. That's what I'm getting. That song by the Beatles, Strawberry Fields Forever. Like, that's what it feels like to me. I really feel like going into a time here where it's just all systems go, but in a really balanced and fluid and whole way, right? Okay, let's go ahead and get an oracle. Which one shall we? I feel like this one. Okay. Okay, something else that I'm getting to. Butterflies' wings are super, super sensitive, right? You don't want to touch a butterfly wing. It's like it kind of like an empath in that way, where it's just like you touch it and it feels like, like you basically hit it with a sledgehammer. Please don't hit a butterfly with a sledgehammer. But I'm also hearing too that kind of harkening back to this Four of Wands deal, this Eight of Cups, these are all solo activities that I'm getting here with this like High Priestess. I'm really hearing too that a lot of you may want to just keep your energy your own for a little bit, right? It feels very important for me to say to really keep your energy your own. It feels like there is this feeling of, going to others for advice and is not necessarily, it's like you are your own best counsel. I know that's come up for us before, but it feels like there's something here around being very, very empathic, sensitive to the energies around you, energies of other people. And sometimes we can mistake those for our own. We really, really can. So just a word to the wise around that. We can't always be a hermit and shut ourselves away, but we can take protective measures around making sure that the energy we come home with at the end of the day is ours and ours alone. Whether that's through a salt bath or wearing hematite or black onyx or setting that intention, whatever that is. But I am getting that for some of you, okay? Especially as, as Aquarians, we're counselors, we're healers, we're, humanitarians at our core. And so sometimes we just have to be a little extra vigilant so that we don't carry that weight of the world home with us, okay? Okay, let's get an oracle from Aquarius. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, God, I love it so much. Okay. So we got ocean, ebb and flow, and we got fairies, earth magic. I just love this so much. So, by the way, fairies and fairy energy, I should say, directly link up with butterfly, which is really, really beautiful. Keyword being magic, okay? And again, when pigs fly, ocean, ebb and flow. I'm having a really funny flashback that feels very pertinent to speak of. I have been doing this channel for, I guess, about 9 months now, which I can hardly believe. And back in one of our very first readings that I ever did, first Aquarius videos that I ever did, we got ebb and flow. And I remember getting this card at that time and being like, oh my God, it is so important for ebb and flow, but it's so hard because I just need things to be okay. I need things to be better. I need things to be easy for freaking once. Like, I remember thinking that at the time. And I remember picking up on that energy. And it's so funny that we're getting this again now, because I'm going to tell you what I'm getting from this. This whole temperance aspect, this is us having accomplished the ebb and flow. This is us finally relinquishing control and feeling the need to, elicit a certain outcome. And we're here, we did it. It's really, really cool. It's really, really cool. And it's emotional, I feel it. I just want to take a minute with this temperance and this 9 of Swords in reverse. I hope that I have adequately communicated what a huge achievement this is for us, for an Aquarius. Balance and 9 of Swords in reverse. This is true ebb and flow. This is true being at one with the universe. This is truly trusting and walking in faith that everything is going to work out in our highest and best good as long as we put one foot in front of the other, right? And live in our integrity every day. And realize that expectations are limitations. This is it. Feels really huge, and I feel this with you. I feel it, because it's not a coincidence. They're bringing me back to one of the first readings I did for you guys, and it has been a year. You know it's been a year. But the butterfly's here now, and things are truly about to lighten up. This is what I feel like we wanted back at the beginning of the year when I did that reading. Wanted that butterfly to come up, and it was always just like, ugh, got some lessons to learn. We got to release and let go of baggage before we can be the butterfly, right? I've got 3 backpacks on and a wheelie suitcase trying to be the butterfly. The butterfly is truly releasing the past. It's healing those wounds. It's not having anyone that hurt us or that we hurt in our energy. It's not having regrets in our energy. This is a true lightness of being. And we're there. And I love it. I absolutely do. It's more of a feeling than anything else, How do you verbalize a feeling? I don't know. Write a poem or something. Then we have fairies, earth magic, which I really love. Not just because it links up with butterfly in such a beautiful way, but because whenever the fairies, earth magic comes up, this is what causes, pigs in flight, right? This is what causes things like, oh my God, I almost missed that. Remember when I said in the meditation Shape of Water, wasn't that dude from the ocean? That beautiful merman fish person? Wasn't he from the ocean? Stop. Can't believe I almost missed that. Anyway, when fairies come up and we're talking about, fairy energy, this is when those really funny things like you can't find your, okay, I'm just going to go like really specific with an example, okay? When this comes out to play. You are running late for work because you can't find your car keys. Funnily enough, you always keep your car keys in the same exact spot. You always have, you always will. It's always in this very particular, it even has its own little basket by the front door where you keep them car keys. And then one morning comes and they're not there. How can this be? You look all over for them. Where are my car keys? Suddenly you're running 15 minutes late to work because you cannot find these keys. And then suddenly, there they are on the table. And you're like, okay, stop. Really? Or they're just under the table. And you're like, okay, I know I didn't do that. Made me 15 minutes late for work. Oh my God, I'm so annoyed by this, right? And then because you are late to work, you bump into somebody. And it's like that meet cute moment. Just for an example here, that meet cute in film where 2 characters like meet in a really funny and cute and destined way. That's just an example of, fairy magic coming in here. Or if that doesn't resonate with you, you're 15 or 20 minutes late to work because you can't find your keys. And as a result, you miss a huge car pileup on the freeway, right? Because you knew about it beforehand and you rerouted because you knew the accident was there because you were late. It's stuff like that, where it's like rerouted or like you're coming home from work. Let's say you're walking home from work and you usually take a right on this certain street, but you're like, oh, there's like this construction being done. I don't want to hear the noise. I'm going to take a left, which leads you to taking this weird way home. And then you find this, $20 bill on the ground. And then you come over here and you give it to this person who needs it. And then it's like very much about putting you outside of your normal pattern, like your time pattern or your time schedule, so that there are things that are going to appear to you and kind of reroute you to kind of align you with these kind of magical moments and magical experiences. That's how fairy energy works, okay? And it usually starts off with a bit of frustration because they're messing up your normal schedule. And again, how many pictures in mythology and lore have we seen of fairies riding around on them butterflies? So I just love that this came up. But at the end of the day, when fairy magic is around, it is a time of really happy surprises, really happy, quotes, coincidences, or as we call them, synchronicities. Right? Fairies are very much like crow in that way, where the crow comes in, it's going to be a time of high magic and high synchronicity. But when the fairies are concerned, it's just going to be a little more tricky in nature. Not in a bad way, but just in a really fun way, in a way that you'll tell your kids about one day. Like this is how I met your mother, or this is how I, whatever, ran into this, or stumbled upon this opportunity, or met this author that I always wanted to meet. Because they're coming out of this bookstore right at this moment. It's like, oh my God, you're this author that I love. Stuff like that. That is fairy energy at work. Okay? And to capitalize upon that, even more important than ever, to go with the ebb and flow of it, okay? All right, my lovely Aquarians, I feel like this was a mouthful, several mouthfuls. But I'm really excited for you and for us. It's a beautiful thing. At the end of the day, the butterfly, there's just every reason to be excited and happy in the world. And so I'm really excited that this came up for us. And I really hope that this was of help and resonated. Beautifully well done with surmounting this analysis paralysis and mental tension and moving into this place of wholeness, oneness, and true content. Unconditional content is what this is. If it did resonate and help, please let me know in the comments below. You know that I love you most of all. Actually, you guys are the last reading that I've recorded for today because Spirit always dictates what order I go in. Normally you guys come earlier, but today they were like, no, Aquarius is going to be last. But I always post you first. So you're the last, but I'm going to post you first anyway, as I love you guys the most. And just thank you so much as always for being here. Please keep an eye on the channel. I'm going to be releasing some different kind of videos coming up here, some how-tos, and announcing something very cool coming up here. So a lot of good stuff for y'all dropping this week. And with that being said, again, just thank you so much for being here. And as always, just thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.